Oh, that is hysterical.
It's not sex, but it's a step in that direction.
For decades, Carol Burnett has been one of the brightest lights in American entertainment. Her wit, warmth, and timeless humor turned The Carol Burnett Show into one of the most beloved television programs in history. Fans across generations have admired her not just as a comedian, but as a symbol of resilience, grace, and kindness. But now, at this moment, shocking news is emerging news that Carol herself has chosen to address publicly. And the truth she is revealing is leaving millions of fans heartbroken. At 91, Burnett has remained remarkably active, sharp, and involved in her work, often surprising people with her energy and strength. Yet underneath that familiar smile, she has been quietly carrying a burden that few outside her closest circle knew about. In a rare and emotional statement, Carol has decided to finally speak out, sharing details that are far more serious and far more personal than anyone expected. The news she is breaking is not about a career milestone, a reunion, or a celebration. Instead, it is something deeply human, something heavy enough to bring pause even to those who know her. History of enduring hardship with admirable strength. What Carol has revealed is sending waves of concern throughout Hollywood, raising questions about her health, her future, and the emotional toll of the struggles she has been privately facing. For fans who have grown up laughing with her, this unexpected announcement is a painful reminder that even the strongest, kindest, and most iconic figures eventually face battles that cannot be hidden forever. And now, Carol Burnett has chosen to let the world in on hers. Carol Burnett has always been known as a woman of extraordinary resilience, someone who could turn even the darkest moments of her life into humor, wisdom, or heartfelt storytelling. But the news she has just shared reveals a side of her life that even her longtime fans rarely see. At 91, she has opened up about a deeply personal struggle, one that she has been quietly managing behind the scenes while continuing to appear on television, give interviews, and participate in public events with her signature grace. This revelation has left many stunned, not only because of its seriousness, but because of how long she carried the weight, without ever allowing it to dim her warm and familiar presence. For much of her life, Burnett has dealt with personal heartbreaks with remarkable strength. She survived a difficult childhood, rising from a troubled home to become a comedy legend. She endured the devastating loss of her daughter Carrie, a tragedy that shaped her in ways she still speaks about with deep emotion. She faced career challenges, health scares, and the immense responsibility of being a woman in Hollywood when few women held power. Through it all, Carol became a beacon of hope, a reminder that laughter can coexist with pain. But this time, what she has revealed strikes a different tone, one that suggests a heavier emotional burden than before. In her recent announcement, Carol expressed that she has been quietly battling a serious health and family-related issue that has demanded her full attention. While she did not go into extensive detail publicly, her words carried the unmistakable weight of something life-altering. For someone who has always prioritized privacy around her personal struggles, the fact that she chose to speak out indicates the gravity of the situation. Fans sensed immediately that this was not simply another Hollywood update. It was a heartfelt confession from a woman who has always faced her challenges with courage but now finds herself needing support more than ever. Compounding this emotional turmoil is the reality of aging. At 91, Carol is aware of her limitations more than ever before. She has spoken candidly about the fears and uncertainties that come with growing older, especially for someone who has spent a lifetime in the public eye. Mobility, energy, and health do not come as easily as they once did, and each milestone forces a reckoning with time. Her latest news appears deeply connected to this stage of life, serving as a reminder that even icons are not immune to the vulnerabilities of age. Yet despite the seriousness of her situation, Carol's message also revealed her unshakable spirit. She emphasized gratitude for her fans, for her family, and for the extraordinary life she has lived. Her tone, while somber, carried the familiar warmth that has endeared her to millions. Even in revealing heartbreaking news, she remained Carol Burnett, honest, humble, and deeply human. This moment marks a turning point in her journey. For the first time in many years, the world sees not just the superstar, but the woman behind the legacy, a woman facing something profoundly difficult, yet still offering the same grace she has shown her entire life. Fans are rallying behind her, sending messages of love, hope, and strength, understanding that this revelation is not just a headline, but a deeply personal chapter in the life of someone who has brought joy to countless others. As the news from Carol Burnett continues to spread, fans and colleagues alike are beginning to understand the emotional layers behind her announcement. For someone who has spent a lifetime making others laugh, the seriousness of what she confessed has created a wave of concern throughout the entertainment world. While Carol has always been selective about what she shares publicly, her recent openness hints at a struggle that has been quietly unfolding for quite some time, one that has taken a toll not only on her health but also on her emotional well-being. At 91, every challenge carries more weight, and this particular hardship appears to have pushed her into a more vulnerable chapter of life. Part of what makes her revelation so heartbreaking is the contrast between her public image and the private battles she has endured. Carol has always been a symbol of optimism, known for her ability to brighten a room with her humor and energy. Her fans have long seen her as the embodiment of grace under pressure, someone who can rise above difficulty with a smile. Yet, beneath that familiar warmth, she has been grappling with a burden that her audience never suspected. Her willingness to finally acknowledge this hidden struggle has revealed a depth of pain that even those closest to her may not have fully understood. In recent years, Carol has hinted at the emotional challenges of aging, particularly the sense of isolation that can come as close friends pass away and family dynamics shift. She has spoken openly about missing the people who shaped her life, mentors, co-stars, and loved ones who stood by her during her rise to stardom. This growing sense of loss has quietly shaped her days, adding to the emotional weight she now carries. For a woman who has always thrived in the company of others, these losses have created a silence in her life that no amount of fame or success can fill. Her current struggle also appears deeply tied to her family. Carol Burnett has long been a devoted mother and grandmother, often putting family above her career. While she has not revealed the full extent of her family-related hardship, those close to her say that she has been deeply affected by the challenges facing some of her loved ones. Her protective nature has often led her to carry these burdens quietly, shielding others from the emotional strain. Now, as she confronts this new chapter, the weight of those responsibilities is heavier than ever. Physically, Carol has also been navigating the inevitable limitations that accompany her age. Although she has maintained remarkable health for someone in her 90s, the demands of travel, appearances, and long working hours have become increasingly difficult. Her recent public statement suggests that her health has required more attention than before, forcing her to step back from certain commitments. This shift has been especially difficult for her, as she has always cherished her connection with fans and her ability to bring joy to others. Yet, even amid heartbreak, Carol remains remarkably composed. Her message carried not only sadness, but also an unmistakable thread of gratitude. She spoke of her appreciation for the love she continues to receive, the memories she has made, and the relationships that have sustained her. This blend of vulnerability and strength is part of what has made Carol Burnett such a beloved figure for decades. She does not shy away from the truth, but she also refuses to let hardship define her spirit. As the world absorbs her news, one thing is clear: this is a pivotal moment for Carol. It is a rare glimpse behind the curtain, revealing the deeply human struggles that even iconic figures face. Fans who have followed her journey from the beginning now feel an even deeper connection, understanding that the woman who gave them laughter is also someone who needs love, support, and compassion during this difficult time. Carol Burnett's announcement may be heartbreaking, but it also highlights her courage, choosing honesty, vulnerability, and connection when it matters most. As Carol Burnett's revelation continues to ripple through the public, many are taking a closer look at how deeply this new chapter has affected her daily life. Those close to Carol describe her as someone who has always carried herself with dignity, choosing to keep her personal challenges away from the spotlight. But now, at 91, the emotional weight of what she is facing has become harder to manage alone. Her announcement has allowed people to understand that the strong, smiling woman they see on television is also someone who has endured profound heartache behind closed doors. This acknowledgement has sparked an outpouring of love and concern from fans who grew up with her and still look to her as a symbol of comfort. In many ways, this difficult period has also made Carol more reflective about just how quickly life can change. She has often spoken about the fragility of time, the way moments pass, people come and go, and memories become the anchors of our lives. Now, more than ever, she seems to feel that fragility with a deeper intensity. Friends say she has been revisiting old letters, photos, and memorabilia, finding solace in the memories of happier times. These quiet moments of reflection offer her both comfort and pain, as they remind her of the many people she has loved and lost over the years. For someone who built a career on joyous expression, dealing with such heavy emotions has been both exhausting and profoundly humbling. Another layer to Carol's current struggle lies in her desire to remain strong for the people she cares about. Even at her age, she has never abandoned the role of caretaker, a role she carried through her daughter's illness, through family challenges, and through decades of navigating fame's complexities. Now, as emotional and physical demands increase, she finds herself facing the difficult truth that she can no longer be the pillar of strength she once was. That realization alone carries a kind of sadness that words barely capture. Loved ones have encouraged her to let others support her. But for someone with Carol's resilient spirit, learning to accept help is a painful shift. Despite this vulnerability, those closest to her say she still has moments where her trademark humor shines through. Even in the heaviness of the last few months, she has found ways to smile, crack jokes, and lift the spirits of those around her. It is a reminder that her heart, despite the hardships, is still full of the warmth and generosity that made her so beloved. These glimpses of the Carol the world knows offer reassurance to fans that while she may be facing difficult times, the essence of who she is remains beautifully intact. Professionally, her recent struggles have led her to pull back from certain projects and appearances. While she has always been selective about what she participates in, this time the shift is different. People who work with her mention that she has become more cautious, choosing only commitments that feel meaningful and manageable. She has expressed concerns about physical strain and emotional exhaustion, hinting that some parts of her life may need to slow down permanently. For fans who treasure her contributions to entertainment, this is a bittersweet realization. Carol Burnett may be preparing for a quieter chapter, one where she prioritizes peace, health, and family over public life. Yet through all of this, Carol repeatedly emphasizes gratitude. She has spoken about the privilege of living such a long, fulfilling life, a privilege many never experience. She understands the love people have for her, and she treasures it deeply. But she is also realistic. She knows that time is no longer unlimited, and that the next stage of her journey will require gentleness, patience, and acceptance. Her story in this moment is not simply one of sadness. It is the story of a woman who has given decades of laughter and light, now facing one of the hardest seasons of her life with quiet courage. And as fans watch her navigate this emotional landscape, they are reminded of the profound humanity that exists behind even the brightest stars. Carol Burnett's vulnerability may be heartbreaking, but it also brings people closer to her than ever before. As Carol Burnett steps forward with this heartbreaking news, the world is witnessing a deeply emotional turning point in her life, one that brings her remarkable journey into sharper focus. At 91, she stands at the intersection of past triumphs, present challenges, and an uncertain future. And while this revelation has stirred concern among fans, it has also sparked a deeper appreciation for the extraordinary woman she has always been. Carol's legacy, built on resilience, humor, and boundless compassion, now feels more precious than ever as she confronts one of her most difficult seasons. With quiet bravery, those closest to Carol say that this period has brought about a meaningful shift in how she sees her life. She has always been reflective, but now her reflections carry a more emotional weight. She has been revisiting old memories, reconnecting with long-lost friends, and finding comfort in moments she once overlooked. There's a sense that she is trying to hold tight to the pieces of her life that matter most, especially as her health and energy fluctuate more than they once did. These moments are not dramatic or loud, rather, they are small, intimate pauses where she allows herself to feel everything she didn't have time to process before. One of the most difficult parts of this chapter has been accepting the limits that aging naturally brings. Carol has long been known for her independence and strong will. She built her career through discipline and determination, often working harder than those around her. Letting go of that independence, even in small ways, has been a painful adjustment. Mobility has become more challenging. Rest is now a necessity rather than a luxury, and medical consultations have become frequent visitors in her schedule. Each new limitation is a stark reminder that time is no longer something she can command with confidence. Emotionally, Carol is facing a landscape filled with both grief and gratitude. She remains deeply affected by the loss of her daughter, Carrie, a wound that has resurfaced more intensely as she navigates her current struggles. Loved ones say that she often speaks about Carrie during reflective moments, finding solace in memories, but also revisiting the pain of losing her so young. This mixture of love and sorrow continues to shape Carol's emotional world, especially now that her own vulnerability feels more present than ever. Her family has stepped up significantly during this period, offering the support she once offered them. Carol, who has always played the role of caregiver, now finds herself learning to accept care in return. Her husband, Brian, and her stepchildren have been constant presences, ensuring she is surrounded by comfort, companionship, and stability. While she remains strong-spirited, having a circle of love around her has made a tremendous difference. It's clear that she is not facing this chapter alone, even if some battles must still be fought quietly within. Despite the heaviness of this moment, Carol continues to display the warmth and wit that defined her legendary career. Friends say she still finds reasons to laugh, even on difficult days, and she often uses humor to soften the emotional weight for those who worry about her. This spark of light, this ability to bring joy even when her own heart is heavy, remains one of her most enduring gifts. Fans who have followed her for decades can take comfort in knowing that, even now, she has not lost the essence of who she is. Looking ahead, Carol has acknowledged that her future will likely be quieter. She has hinted that she may step away from public appearances altogether, choosing instead to focus on personal peace and meaningful time with family. It is a decision rooted in acceptance, not defeat. At this stage of life, she values stillness more than spotlight, connection more than applause, and health more than the demands of a busy schedule. Carol Burnett's heartbreaking news has reminded the world that even icons face moments of deep vulnerability, but it has also revealed the incredible strength that has always defined her strength, not in avoiding pain, but in meeting it with honesty, grace, and emotional courage. As this chapter unfolds, fans everywhere are sending her love, gratitude, and unwavering support.